Let's get started on our beginner's embroidery pattern. Starting a new project, I prefer to begin in the center and work my way outward. You can do these stitches in any order, but this is the approach that I find most effective. I'm going to start with the woven wheel stitch. To create this stitch, you want to start by bringing the needle up through the fabric at the outside outline of the circle. You're going to make 5 straight stitches radiating inward from the outer edge towards the center, spacing them evenly to form 5 spokes. Once all the spokes are created, bring the needle up through the back of the fabric close to the center point. Begin weaving the thread over and under each spoke. Start by going over the first spoke, then under the next, and continue this pattern around the wheel. While weaving, pull the thread gently to keep the stitches snug but not overly tight, allowing the woven texture to develop naturally. Continue weaving until the circle is covered by the thread. If you run out of thread, go ahead and pull the needle down through the fabric and tie off the end you finished. To finish the thread, I'd like to wrap it around the existing stitches at least 3 times. Then start a new piece of thread, bringing the needle up through the fabric right where you left off. Keep weaving over and under the spokes until the entire flower is full. If you notice that one side of the flower is filling up faster than the other, you can focus on one side by just using 2 or 3 spokes. Still follow the over and under technique, but you'll turn around and start weaving in the opposite direction. If you prefer a fuller look, you can gently fluff out the sides of the flower. Cover any exposed tips of the spokes along the outline of the wheel with straight stitches or stem stitches along the outside perimeter of the wheel. You'll do the same stitch for the second woven wheel. You make your 5 spokes. You weave over and under until the entire flower is full. Next, we'll move on to the cluster of French knots. Start by bringing the needle up through the fabric. Hold the thread tight and wrap it around the needle 2 or 3 times and insert the needle back into the fabric. Pull the needle all the way through the fabric while still keeping tension on the thread. Keep pulling on the needle end of the thread until the knot is secured to the front of the fabric. Now we're ready to begin stitching our leaf stitch. Bring the needle up from the back of the fabric at the tip of the leaf. And go back down at the midpoint of the leaf. Bring the needle up just below the right side of the starting point of the last straight stitch, following the leaf's outline. Insert the needle back down to form a second straight stitch that ends just below the midpoint of the first stitch. lying at a slight diagonal. Bring the needle up just below the left side of the starting point of the middle stitch along the leaf's outline. Go back down to create a third straight stitch that ends just below the end point of the last diagonal stitch. Continue this process, alternating between the right and left sides of the outline until the straight stitches fill the area of the leaf. The stitches will begin to create a beautiful textured effect that emphasizes the leaf's shape. Continue the leaf stitch for the rest of the leaves on the pattern. Lastly, we'll create all the stems on the pattern by using the back stitch. First, start by making a straight stitch. Bring the needle up through the back of the fabric about 1/4 inch away from the end of the first straight stitch just completed. Insert the needle back down through the fabric in the same hole as the end of the first straight stitch completed. Repeat the process of back stitching until all the stems on the project are complete.